Welcome to a very quick video on online advising using Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. Okay, what is Blackboard Collaborate? Well, this is a wonderful tool that allows web conferencing and different webinars to be used in online teaching, but also in any kind of student contact. It allows you to real-time share audio, video, and different files. You can share desktop applications and different web resources, such as videos. Can be displayed directly in that room. It's a wonderful way to connect to our students. Within the advising, it's going to allow students to meet with advisors without coming in. It's going to allow the advisors to show their screens and discuss the different programs and requirements. It's going to also allow the advisors and students to loop in additional people, such as program advisors, to answer specific questions, and also allows face-to-face contact with students. There's nothing like seeing the face at the other side of the conversation. Another advantage of Collaborate is it allows you to access it from anywhere. One person can be on a computer, another one on a smartphone. One person could be on a computer and the other one on a landline. Obviously, if they're on a landline, they can't see it, but you still have that real-time communication. Can have computer to computer and even smartphone to smartphone. Using the guest links, it can also be done outside of Blackboard. So what we're going to talk about today, just very briefly, is showing the organization that I set up for West Kentucky Advisors. I'm going to show you how to make it a favorite. I'm going to talk a little bit about the resource tab, but spend most of our time talking about online advising. I'm going to talk about how to set up a session. Once you've set one up, you can reuse it for all of your advising sessions by using a guest link and dial in. I'm going to show you a little bit about camera, how to use the chat, sharing screens, and the whiteboard. You start by logging into Blackboard as usual. I have gone ahead and set up an organization for the West Kentucky Community and Technical College Advisors. So you would go to Organizations and look for the West Kentucky or WKCTC Advisors. You'll see on my list it's down towards the bottom, but I can move it to the top by clicking on that star, and we'll see that it has been moved to favorites, and now it's at the top. I can go ahead and go into the organization that looks a lot like a course. You'll see that it opens up to an area called Resources, and I have added just a couple of links in here, a link to the program finders, the link to a couple of the interactive guides. It is possible for you to go in and add additional pieces in here since I set up everyone as a leader, but that will be a separate training. What I wanted to talk about today was the online advising sessions. So I would go into online advising sessions and it will go ahead and open up Blackboard Collaborate. I have one room already set up, but each person can set up their own individual session and reuse it over and over again. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a session. I'm going to give it a name, and I'm actually going to give it my name, Kate Sen Session. And since I want to use it over and over again, I'm going to click No End in the open session. This is what faculty members sometimes use for their virtual office hours. Now, as I did this, you'll see that it went ahead and created a guest link. So I want to make sure that there is a check for guest access. And for guest role, since I want the other parties, the students, to be able to share information with me, share files if possible, I'm going to make them also a presenter. You'll see that we have an option for both dial in and a guest link. So they can link using a browser or they can call in. Obviously, it's a different experience. So what I would do is I would copy each of these and put it into an email. You'll notice that as I hover over the dial-in, I have the not sign. The way that you copy the dial-in information and also the guest link is you would use these icons off to the side. So I would click on copy, and it goes ahead and puts it on my clipboard such that I can go ahead and open up an email, write it. Okay, if you have difficulty dialing in, the dial-in information is right here. And I would do the same. Let me go back in there. Excuse me. For the guest link, copy it and put it in my email. And then I would just send that message. In a minute, I'll log in using that information. But for now, I'm going to assume that I'm in Blackboard and I am going to go in using this organizational link. So I'm going to click on Join Session. And it's going to go ahead and add my name on there. And I wanted to talk about a couple of different tools. You'll notice at the bottom I have status and settings. I'll see that since I have logged on this way, you'll see that I am a moderator. I can express how I'm feeling, and I can do a quick agree, disagree. You'll also notice I have the option of leaving the session. You'll see that you have the option of sharing your audio. You'll always want to make sure that you're sharing your audio so that they'll be able to hear you. You also have the option of sharing video. The students that you're connecting with will also have the option of sharing their audio and their video. We want to encourage them to go ahead and at least share the audio. Prior to actually sharing the video, you get a preview, kind of like this. And so you can check your hair, check your makeup, check to make sure that there's nothing strange going on behind you, maybe move your Diet Coke out of the way, things of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead and share my video. Okay, you'll notice that as you share your video, it's just a small picture there in the corner, unless you change it otherwise. A couple of the other tools I want to go over, and the ones that you probably will use more. As you go to the lower right-hand corner, you'll see the Open Collaborate panel. As I expand it, you'll see that we have chat. And that would be, okay, if I want to chat with everyone, I would click on that, say something, hi mom, press enter. And that's another way that students can communicate. So everyone that was connected would have seen my little hi mom chat. We also have the option of sharing content. So I would click share content. You can see that I can use a blank whiteboard where I can type in a few things, or I can draw. To be honest with you, I don't use this very often, but sometimes it's helpful to be able to draw a picture. The feature that I use more often is the share application or screen. So you can share an entire screen, or you can select a particular application. So for example, right now I have the Associates of Arts interactive guide showing up. I have that loaded so I can select that and share it. And in a moment, there we go, the interactive guide is going to show up. This will also show up on the student screen, and I actually can go over and I can, enter values. excuse me, I just typed in something incorrect into the interactive guide, so it didn't let me do that. And so it will show what is on my screen such that I can discuss these different pieces with the student. I have the option of increasing, zooming in a bit more, and sharing this information. At any point I can go ahead and stop sharing my lovely face, and I can also go in and stop sharing my screen. I encourage you to share your video as much as possible. Okay, right now you'll see that the room is empty, so I'm going to actually go into my little phone here. And this is something I encourage you to do as you practice. Go in and join the Collaborate session as both join the Collaborate session and kind of talk to yourself. See what it looks like from the student perspective and also from yours. On the phone, and also when you are using a guest link, you'll have the option of joining it using Blackboard or simply joining using a browser. When someone joins the session, they'll be announced, and also the icon on the screen here will change. And they will have the option of sharing their video such that you can see them. So we have kind of cadence stereo here. I'm going to turn that off. Also, let me go ahead and show you what it looks like when they join using a browser, using that guest link. So they would click on the guest link. They would be prompted to put their name in. So I'm going to put in Kate the student and join the session. And you'll see that using the student link, not the student link, the guest link, versus using Collaborate gives you a lot of the same look and feel. With the guest link, I'm huge here because this is a student talking to me. I am small over here because this is my view. So here I am as a student, as a presenter. I can go in and share an application. Let me go ahead and put that Associates of Art back up. Such that I see the screen here. And so does the student. And will be a little hard to see here, but it will also, well, actually you won't be able to see it at all. It's also showing up on my phone. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. So they have the option of sharing application. We can share a file. There's a limit to the types of files. It can be a PowerPoint or a PDF or an image. So this is what the students will see. This is what you will see when using Blackboard. It is also possible to use Collaborate without going into Blackboard. You can use that guest link too to establish that connection. That guest link is also a way to bring in additional people. For example, if you know that a student wants, let's say, CIT, it's possible as you're setting up the schedule for you to send this link also to a CIT faculty member to be able to get their input. Okay. To end the session, I realized that as I was recording that, I didn't end my session. At the beginning, when we went in and we took a look at the profile, we saw that we had the ability to leave the session. So what I encourage you to do is go ahead and go in, set up a session, play with it a little bit, and then we will have kind of a group session where we can ask and answer questions. Thank you so much for your attention.